Election day on Capitol Hill as House lawmakers return to Washington, D.C., voting on a funding bill to reopen the government.
We're opening up our country. Should have never been closed. Should have never been closed.
The House didn't do its job. If Republicans had done their job, we wouldn't be here right now voting on a different bill than the one that they passed. But instead of working with us on trying to end the shutdown, they all just left.
Why Democrats remain reluctant to vote on the newly amended bill, plus what the end of the shutdown could mean for SNAP recipients, as well as air travel.
This kind of obstruction cannot happen again, regardless of party. Their job is to swear people in, and 813,000 Southern Arizonans haven't had support during the shutdown.
More than a month after winning a special election, Arizona Rep-elect Adelita Grijalva will be sworn in as a member of Congress today. Why members of her party argue the process was strategically delayed to avoid a vote on releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files.
The back and forth between California and the Trump administration continues this morning. Why plans by the White House to greenlight new oil and gas drilling off the state's coast is receiving some stiff opposition from the governor and advocacy groups.
And a big winter storm is on the way. In fact, it is increasing in strength and going to bring us a lot more rain than we originally thought. We'll give you the details and let you know just how much rain we're going to expect and how much longer this storm is going to last.
You're watching Fox 26, and now, great day.
This 5 o'clock hour of Great Day on this Wednesday morning with a live look at the silhouette of El Capitan, a slight view of Half Dome in Yosemite National Park. We do see some cloud cover, at least what appears to be cloud cover already as the clouds are moving in, as Justin's been telling us. Big changes on the way weather-wise. Good morning to you. I'm Liz Gonzalez.
I'm Carl Cook.
And I'm Justin Willis. Thank you for joining us. And Liz mentioned something. There was the Aurora Borealis, which I'm sure we're going to talk about.
We were talking about that. Apparently, people got some amazing pictures from what I was saying.
Yeah, from all over the country. And if you had a clearing last night, you were able to see it. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But we've got this storm coming on, and we said it was going to be a lot, but now it's going to be a lot more than a lot. So we'll show you all that throughout the show here on Great Day. But right now, let's get your current conditions going. Currently, it is cloudy out there, 64 degrees. Winds right at the southeast at 6 miles an hour, picking up about a 10 or 12 mile an hour gust here and there, though. Dew point is at 52. And here's the rest of your day at 10 a.m., 65 at noon, 71, 5 o'clock, 71 degrees. And yeah, it's going to be cloudy out there for you today. Wind speeds will be hanging at about 5 to 10 miles an hour throughout the day. But coming up, this next weather maker, well, it's making even more than we thought here. We've got new totals for you. We've got new amounts, and we'll tell you how much longer this current system is going to last.
Let's take you live to Capitol Hill. We're happening today. The House will be in session for the first time in 54 days, and members are expected to vote on reopening the government. The chamber could take up a bill that funds most of the federal government through January 30th. Democrats say they want to end the longest shutdown in government history, but have a responsibility to help Americans avoid skyrocketing health insurance costs. One Republican lawmaker says that he's open to a one-year extension of Affordable Care Act tax subsidies, but says that Democrats need to work with his party.
If Democrats just want to scream and yell and say that there's a health care crisis, but not participate in actually working to pass legislation, then that's on them.
House Democrats will strongly oppose any legislation that does not decisively address the Republican health care crisis.
With House Democratic leaders against the package, House Speaker Mike Johnson will not have much room for any GOP opposition to get that bill moving forward. House Republicans, by the way, do not need any Democrat support to pass the bill. The Supreme Court has extended its ruling that blocks full SNAP payments for the roughly 42 million people who use them. The court's extension allows for the White House to continue withholding nearly $4 billion in that Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program money. Now, this move doesn't resolve the issue, but appears to buy time to allow Congress to pass a funding deal. Several groups have sued the federal government to force it to pay November's full benefits. On Friday, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson issued an administrative stay that blocked a lower court order that required the administration to fully fund SNAP benefits. This ruling extends that stay through tomorrow. If the shutdown ends, lawsuits tied to SNAP would become moot. This morning, air travel now reduced by 6% at 40 of the country's busiest airports, and there are plans to further reduce it by 10% on Friday. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warns that if lawmakers don't end the shutdown, airports will experience even more flight disruptions starting this weekend.
I'm going to tell you, we are not going to get to Thanksgiving. You're going to see this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Big disruption thus far. Massively more disruption as we come into the weekend if the government doesn't open.
One big question remains, just how soon could air travel and SNAP benefits return to normal once the shutdown ends? The president is signaling he's prepared to sign the stopgap funding bill if the House passes it today. If that happens, officials say that SNAP benefits could resume promptly. The timeline for air travel returning to normal, though, is less certain. The transportation secretary says air traffic controllers would get 70% of their back pay within 48 hours of the government reopening. And when the shutdown ends, the FAA will look at safety data and staffing levels to determine when to roll back some of those restrictions.
All right, it's 5:05. Let's get a check of this forecast here and show you what's going on. High pressure just hanging on here, but not for much longer here. That is what is keeping us above normal, and will continue to do so today. Should be in the upper 60s. We got upper 70s still for you out there today, but big changes by the time we get to tomorrow here, as we've got a massive area of storm coverage here working its way in already. We're already seeing the clouds from it coming from the south, and with another system to the north here, bringing some low pressure in, creating a lot of instability for us here, and going to bring us some heavy rain in the coming days here. So let's track it with your futurecast here. You can kind of see it's already starting to merge here with some of the heaviest systems out in the Pacific there. But then we get to tomorrow morning, and then here we go. We got chances of rain picking up in the Central Valley early tomorrow morning. Things get heavy by the latter parts of the morning there, and even heavier as the day goes on. In the afternoon there, we'll see some heavy stuff up in the northern foothills there, Merced County, looking at some heavy rain at that time. We get to tomorrow night, still going out there for us there, and then getting heavier down there in Santa Barbara County. And then we get to Friday. We thought things were going to ease up for us Friday. No, it's looking like now it's going to hang on until early Friday morning, actually until the latter parts of the morning Friday, backing off just a tad before it picks up again Friday afternoon. We get to Friday night, and then it backs off a little more with lingering precip in the foothills. All right, Saturday now, we get kind of a rebound from this system here, with more pushing in from the south there, kind of impacting a lot of the Central Valley up to the Fresno area from the South Valley, and then even more starts to push its way in from the south, looking like Saturday morning there on that, and getting even heavier once again down in Southern California there Saturday afternoon, and then that pushes up. So this is a whole different system that's going to work its way in than the one we're going to be dealing with tomorrow. Snow dropping down into the Southern Sierra there by Saturday night. We get to Sunday. Yep, still going, and heavy at times there along the foothills and mountains Sunday morning, and that's really when the snow levels are expected to drop down to about the 5,000-foot level there at this time. So it's going to get pretty heavy up there. Rain continuing there Sunday morning, easing up just a tad there Sunday afternoon, and then we get to Monday, and that's when things will really start to back off for us, though. But we still have a good chance of rain picking up there. It'll get a little bit more going there. It looks like Monday morning there, and then it'll back off latter parts of the morning. So it's going to be off and on, a lot of instability with this storm, but we're getting it from a couple of different areas, so that's why we're going to be seeing a prolonged period of rain here. It was just going to be tomorrow, and now it looks like we're going to see good chances each day through at least Monday here. All right, let's talk about some warnings now. Sierra Nevada mountains above 8,000 foot has a winter storm warning in effect. That is going in effect tomorrow morning at 1 o'clock. Will last to early Friday morning. Getting 6 to 12 inches of snow up there and 40-mile-an-hour winds. Some other alerts you need to know about. Well, we've got on the other side of the Sierra a winter storm watch there in effect until Friday morning, and we're going to be dealing with some winds out of this storm as well, especially on the west side of the San Joaquin Valley. I-5 corridor going to be very gusty out there. That's in effect until tomorrow afternoon, looking at 40-mile-an-hour winds over there. The totals on this for tomorrow haven't really changed much. It's still going to be a lot above 3 inches there along the foothills and mountains, Mariposa, Oakhurst, Shaver Lake there, and it looks like still a foot in at Tioga Pass. But we're all looking at about an inch tomorrow. But then we throw in these new storms that are working its way in, and we could see even more than that, maybe 4 inches in some places with what's coming in on these totals. All right, so here's our temperatures here. We're at 76 for our high today. Tomorrow we're at 68. Yeah, dropping down quite a bit there, and then down to 61 on Friday. That'll be pretty well below normal there. And yes, we've got good chances of rain each night and each day, and then 50s for your overnight lows. In just a bit here, we're going to get a look at your highs and lows across the rest of the San Joaquin Valley.
The Trump administration touting plans to allow oil and gas drilling off the California coast. How Governor Gavin Newsom is responding to the proposal and why advocates argue that the move could have some harsh economic impacts. The United Nations once again accusing Israel of blocking deliveries from reaching the Gaza Strip. How the lack of access to medical equipment is putting the health of children in Gaza in jeopardy.
The Chuck Chansey Skycam, sponsored by Chuck Chansey Gold Resort and Casino.
And it's now 5:09 as we head to break. Here is a live look at Fresno Yosemite International Airport from above our Fox 26 studio. You can find new headlines and the weather forecast on your screen all morning long, even through the commercial break.
Hi, I'm Monty Torres of Fox 26 News on YouTube. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, where we have loads of great content for you to choose from. And while you're here, why not click on the subscribe button right here? That way you can stay in touch with all the latest breaking news, everything news related within the Central Valley. And thank you for watching.